So in the last 3 videos in the series on the Coleman RSV, I removed the internal and external governor and then plugged the holes in the block, added a 10,000 RPM cast aluminum flywheel, and then added some free timing, jetted the stock carburetor, and then I installed a 14cc chamber head with mild port work. In the 3rd video, I pulled the 14cc chambered head off and ended up using the stock Coleman 196 cylinder head with 40 thousandths shaved off the head, 22-pound springs, and 1.3 ratio rockers. And the bike ultimately did over 50 miles an hour and did in the 5-second range from 0 to 30 with the stock carb and the stock exhaust. And the best part about it is I did it all for around $54 in parts. So this time around, to try to gain maybe a little bit more top speed, I think I'm gonna re-gear the bike. And I would use this 40 sprocket like I did on the B200 videos, but the thing is, I'm trying to keep the RSV looking stock on the outside. So instead of using the 40 sprocket, I'm gonna use this 10-tooth jack shaft sprocket that's hidden under the cover on the RSV. So changing up the gear ratio to more of a highway gear very well could slow the bike down at top speed and 0 to 30. I'm not sure the 196 has the torque to pull this gear, but I guess there's only one way to find out. So I'm sure the 196 would have the torque to pull more of a highway gear if I was running a header pipe and a slide carb and a cam like I did in the B200 videos. But on this bike, it's running the stock carb and the stock exhaust, so it's kind of limited. So you have the 9-tooth and the 10-tooth. So hopefully we have enough chain by adding one more tooth. I think we will, because there's quite a bit of adjustment right there. Loosen up these adjusters here so I can move that wheel forward. Pull this chain off of here. And it looks like there's going to be enough chain. I mean, there's quite a bit of slack left in here. All right, so there's your 9-tooth. So you have the 9-tooth and then the 10-tooth. So this 10-tooth sprocket was advertised on Amazon to supposedly fit on the RSV. I noticed it's a little bit loose. If you look, it's a little bit loose compared to the fitment of the stock sprocket, which is nice and tight. But that's an easy enough fix. So I cut a small piece of sheet metal, then I just insert it into the sprocket, and that takes up the slack, because I've had this happen before where the tolerances are just a little bit loose. So anyway, you put that on there, and now it's nice and tight, just like the stock one. Easy fix. I mean, I could leave it on there loose, but okay, there we go, easy enough. Now let me see if we have enough chain. So it looks like we're gonna have enough. So that's good, just in case this gear is just too much gear, it's easy enough to swap back. Or I can add some mods to the engine to pull the gear, but we shall find out. Tighten up that chain with these tensioners on both sides, make it even. That's at least another 20 or 30 miles an hour right there. I mean, this thing is gonna be doing 100 before we know it. So it might not be faster, but it still looks stock. And that's all that counts. Okay, so I just bolted on probably 15 or 20 miles an hour. I mean, pretty soon this thing's gonna be doing 100 for sure. So now I'll take it out for a 0 to 30 in top speed and see if I can beat 5.77 0 to 30, which I know I won't be able to because it's more of a highway gear. And then 50.46 top speed. I mean, it might have the torque to pull the gear for top speed, but we'll find out. And as always, I'm gonna be using my Draggy performance meter to measure the times, so we will get really accurate times. I cruise this thing around first to get it warmed up. It actually feels pretty good with this gear. Feels pretty snappy still. Maybe not as quick as before, but it's pretty good. Still have the good top speed. All right, let me see if I can get a 0 to 30 out of this. 0 to 30 with a 10-tooth jack shaft sprocket on the RSV. All right, there's 30. Okay, so we dropped down to 740, which is not bad. So let me see if I can back that up. All right, 0 to 30, 10-tooth jack shaft sprocket on the RSV. All right, there's 30. Okay, so it's not bad. It's still a lot quicker than it was stock. It did 6.39. So it's still quicker than it was stock, which is good. So we didn't lose that much from 0 to 30. So now let me see if I can beat 50.46 top speed. It'd be interesting to see if this has the torque to pull this thing up there at 50. Yeah, it actually surprisingly pulls this hill pretty good with this gear on here. So pulling the hill, we did 45.36 already. So we lost a little bit from 0 to 30 and a little bit of top speed, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. So last time around we did 5.77 0 to 30 and then 50.46. And then I added the 10-2 sprocket and we dropped about what? A little over half a second from 0 to 30 to 6.39, but it's still a lot quicker than it was stock, even with the higher gear. And then we did 49.03, so we're pretty close to the top speed and still a lot faster than it was stock. So the 196, even with the mods, just doesn't have the torque to pull that high of a gear. I mean, it's almost there if it had just a little bit more power. So I'm about $60 into the $100 budget right now, so I still have another $40. So in this video series, the original goal was to break 50 miles an hour with the stock looking RSV using the stock carb and the stock exhaust, which we've already accomplished. So now I can throw on a slide carb and still stay under the $100 budget. So with the extra 40 bucks, I figure I'll throw this Coso carb on there. And this might just put it over the top, maybe, even though I'm not gonna run a header pipe because I don't have the budget for a header pipe. And I could use a VM22, which is around 25 bucks, but I think this Coso might work a little bit better. And it's a carb that I have lying around, so we might as well try it. So I'll pull off my jetted stock carb and we'll see if the Coso will make a difference. I mean, I think it'll make a little bit of a difference, even without a header pipe, because we definitely have the gear now, if we can get the engine to rev a little bit higher with the stock cam, but at least it has 1.3 ratio rockers. But it does have a Predator 224 exhaust, so that might help. So it'll still kind of look stock. It'll be stock on the other side, the Predator 224 exhaust over there. Now to keep this under my $100 budget, this is a VM22 intake that's been cut. So I can use it as a slide carb intake because we can't go over that $100 budget. Now for my throttle cable, to run a slide carb on here, I'm gonna have to not run it in the stock location. I'm gonna have to take it out from underneath here and run it up over on the outside, which is okay. So what's cool about the Coso carb, it has an adjustment on the cap and up on the twist grip. So you figure I'll cut the cable about 2 inches out. I don't know, maybe an inch and 3/4. Add a little flux to this thing to make sure that solder sticks really well. You definitely don't want that tip falling off. Make sure I get plenty of heat on this. So I think that ought to hold it. Yeah, that's a pretty nice tip on there. So let's see if we have full throttle here. Oh yeah, there we go. Another cool thing about this Coso carb that I like about it, it comes with a velocity stack or a filter adapter. So you can have either one. So I think I got it all on there. So if this carb does work well on here, I can always throw a curved intake in here and run the carb back in here because there's plenty of room. So the Coso carb has a 120 main jet, and I can't remember the pilot, but I think I'm just gonna leave it like that and we'll test it out. And I did add a fuel shutoff instead of a fuel filter. That way, if I do want to swap out jets, just turn it off and pull the plug, and easy jet swaps. And hopefully this thing will spin really hard or a lot harder so I can test the durability of the nylon cam gear and the stock rod. Like I said in the last video, I've been trying to break one of those nylon gears for a couple years now. Now it seems like it runs pretty good. Good for no tuning. I mean, it was tuned on the other bike on a 212, so maybe it's close enough. So I gotta be what, 6.39 with this gearing. 0 to 30. Coso carb on the 196. Wow, that's a lot quicker. It did 4.38 for the first 0 to 30. It's the quickest time so far out of all the tests. You can tell it needs a little bit of tuning. Definitely feels like it's gonna have a lot better top speed too. So I'll see if I can beat a 4.38. All right, 0 to 30, second attempt. Coso carb on the 196. Did it again. Let's see. So we did a 4.38 again. 2 times in a row, the exact same time. This thing is quick. It's a lot quicker than it was before. So now let me see if I can beat 49.03. If I tune this thing, maybe I can get it into the 3s. All right, let me see if I can go beat 49 miles an hour. And that's with a 120 main jet. I can tell it's going to be faster already. We already almost matched the time coming up the hill through the neighborhood. So it's definitely going to have a better top speed. So this thing would probably run really good with a header pipe. So the bike was the quickest and the fastest out of all the tests so far. So I added the 10 tooth and it slowed down a little bit from 0 to 30, 6.39. And before with the old gearing, it did 5.77. And then it did 49.03. So it lost a little top speed. Then I added the Coso carb and we dropped to the quickest time so far, 4.38. It beat every combo so far. And then the fastest top speed, 52.32. So now I think the limiting factor is the Predator 224 exhaust. So now I think I'm just gonna go ahead and break the budget by about 30 bucks, 35 bucks, and throw a header pipe on it. I mean, hopefully it'll be quicker and faster, but we'll find out. Man, this bike's gonna be doing 100 miles an hour by the time we get done with this thing. Off with the Predator 224 exhaust, even though it is freer flowing than the Coleman exhaust because it has a bigger pipe there, but it still doesn't have the scavenging effects of a header pipe. So let me see if I can find something to fit on here. So for a header pipe on this thing, maybe I can use the B200 header pipe for right now. So on this bike here, I made a header pipe fit. It's off an MB200 and I ran it through the fender. I actually have a video on this. I can make something similar. Then I also have this short header pipe that'll fit on here. It comes out up underneath the seat, too close up there. So I was wondering if I can heat it. I don't know if that's too much of a swing to run it down, to heat it and then run it down here. I guess there's only one way to find out, and that's to fire the torch up. So I got the fender off of here and a bunch of wet rags. So what could go wrong? I mean, this thing should be pretty straightforward. So hopefully I can get enough bend in it without ruining the pipe. Let's see what happens here. See if I can get a nice red glow on this thing. So it's not the best bend in the world, but it'll do what I needed to do to test a header pipe on this bike. And then later on, when I get a longer pipe, I can run one down and then out maybe. But this pipe is just too short to try to put a bend in it down to here. It was starting to crimp it. So I figured I'd just leave it up here to test it for right now. So I got the sweet pipe on there, and I wish it turned out a little bit better, but that's okay. I mean, if it looked a little bit better, it probably would be around, I don't know, 3 or 4 miles per hour faster, but that's okay. So now I'll take it out. I'll see if I can beat the 4.32 0 to 30, I think it was, and 52.32 top speed. Definitely a lot faster. We already went well over 50 right there, coming up the hill. It's amazing how restrictive those stock exhausts are. All right, let me run down here to the same road and I'll see if I can beat 52.32 top speed. And at the same time, test the durability of the nylon cam gear and the stock rod. So this here's the road that I did the last speed run on. This thing is moving out. We're close to 60 miles an hour now with a stock internal to 196. This thing has fantastic top speed. So now let me see if I can knock out a 0 to 30 real quick. All right, 0 to 30. Coso carb and a header pipe on the RSV after this car goes by. All right, there's 30. 4.42. So I mean, it's really close to what it was before. All right, second attempt, 0 to 30. Coso carb and a header pipe on the RSV. 4.37. So we almost did 60 miles an hour with a stock internal 196. And then we did the quickest 0 to 30 time so far. So the Coso carb and stock exhaust, we did 4.38 and then 52.32 top speed. Then I added the header pipe and we dropped to 4.37 and then 58.36 top speed. So this is almost a 60 mile an hour bike with totally stock internals. So the only thing that's done to this is internal governor removed, a cast aluminum flywheel with added timing, 1.3 ratio rockers with 22-pound springs, 40 thousandths off the cylinder head, a 26 millimeter Coso carb, and a header pipe, and a 10-tooth sprocket on the jack shaft. So if you add all that stuff up, it's barely over $100. So how long will the stock internals last? The stock rod and the nylon cam gear. So be sure to check out the build series on this bike in the RSV playlist.